All right, so this lesson is going to cover 7242, solve equations resulting from proportional relationships in various contexts. Again, the key word here is proportion. So in part A, we need to figure out, it says write an equation to express when the two types of dues are the same cost. The membership dues at a pool are $75 per year plus $1.50 per visit. Okay, so if I write this as an equation, it's going to be $75 per year plus the $1.50 per visit. I'm just going to give that an X. Now, the non-members pay $5.75 per visit, but I want to write an equation that's going to allow me to figure out when those two are the same price. Okay, so I have this, the membership is $75 a year plus $1.50 every time I visit, so that's X. Now, this is just $5.75 times the number of visits. So we're making that equal to figure out when X has to be the same number. So how many days does a member have to visit the pool to make the membership of value? So, you're going to a workout facility and you want to figure out, okay, do I pay each time or do I just get a membership? Well, you got to figure out how many times you actually need to go and see if you can go that many times in order to make it worth it. So the first thing, let's go ahead and subtract $1.50 X on both sides. Okay, and when we do that, we have to bring our 75 down, and we say that this is equal to 4.25x. Now, when we divide by 4.25 on each side, all right, I'm going to come down here. You're not going to get a nice clean number, because when you do 75 divided by 4.25, we get like 17.647058882, so on and so forth. So basically, we don't need to find an exact number, but as a member, we need to go to the club at least 18 times to make it worth it. Because if we only go 17 times, if we were to do that with a calculator, if we did 17 times 575, that's going to cost us $97.75. Well, we can actually go, that's cheaper than going and paying $75 plus $1.50 every time. Because if I do $1.50 times 17 times plus the $75, I'm paying over $100. So it's cheaper if I go 17 times to just be a non-member. However, if I go 18 times, then it's cheaper as a member. So you got to figure out, are you going to go 18 times or more? And if so, then you should become a member. Otherwise, you should just be a non-member and pay each time you go. So last week, Christine worked 14 hours and earned $143.50. So we can write that as a ratio. We go $143.50 over 14 hours. Okay, it says this week she's scheduled to work 10 hours, so how much will she earn this week? So let's put 10 on the bottom and X on the top. When we cross multiply, we're going to get 14X is equal to 1435.0. You don't have to put the 0.0. Then we got to divide by 14 on both sides because that is the coefficient. All right, so 1435 divided by 14 is 102.50. That's how much she should make working 10 hours this week. On vacation, Juan drove 275 miles in 5 hours. So how far will Juan travel at the same rate in the next 3 hours? So again, here's your hours, you match it up. We got to find how many miles, so let's cross multiply. Let's go 5x is equal to 3 times 275, which is 825. Divide both sides by 5. So x is going to be 165 miles. Okay, again, just set up these ratios, matching corresponding parts. Allison does 8 math problems in 2 minutes. So how long will it take her to do a set of 160 math problems? And I think we already solved this in another lesson. So we do 8x is equal to 320 divided by the 8. So So X is equal to 40 minutes. Okay. Oranges are on sale for $3 per dozen. So $3 per dozen, that's 12. They usually cost $5 per dozen. It usually costs $5 per dozen. So how much money is saved on each orange? Well, let's figure out how much this is. This is $3 per 12. And if I do 3 divided by 12, I get, that's like a quarter each, so 0.25 each. And, well, these are obviously not equal. But 5 divided by 12 is like 0.42 cents each. Okay, so again, these are not equal. So if I subtract that, if I go 0.42 minus 25 cents, I'm going to get about 17 cents. So I need to subtract the 0.25 to find the difference, and I get 0.17. So I'm saving about 17 cents per orange with the sale price here of $3 per dozen. If beef costs $7.50 for 4 pounds, how much would it cost for 6 pounds? So again, you match the pounds on the bottom here. Let's put an X in, so we're going to cross multiply, and we'll get 4X is equal to 6 times 750 is 45. Now you need to divide by 4 on both sides, and so we're going to get X is equal to 11.25, so 11 1/4 for 6 pounds of beef. All right, if there are 320 calories in 2/3 a cup servings of almonds, about how many calories are in 3/5 a cup of almonds? Okay, so we have 2/3 here, 2/3 a cup, and we have 3/5 here. So again, we just need to set up this proportion. Let's cross multiply. We'll get 2/3 times X is equal to, okay. Now, here we need to multiply 320 times 3, and then we're going to divide by the denominator, which is 5. And that gives us 192. Okay? Now, keep in mind, normally we divide by the coefficient, but this is a fraction. We don't ever divide by fractions. So let's multiply by the reciprocal of 3 over 2. And so then our 2's cancel and our 3's cancel, and we're left with X. Now again, the same thing. We're going to take 192 times 3 and then divide it by 2. So 192 times 3, divide that by 2, and we get 288 calories for 3/5 a cup of almonds. All right, so it takes Roberto 3.25 hours to run a 10K race. If he keeps the same rate, how long will it take him to run a 3K race? So let's go ahead and put the 3K down here. One thing I look at over here is these are all in minutes. So when I have 3.25, this is in hours. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take 3.25 times 60 to get it into minutes, and that actually equals 195 minutes. And so I can kind of get rid of that. So now let's put an X here, and let's cross multiply. So I get 10X is equal to 3 times 195, which is 585. And divide both sides by 10. So that X is equal to 58.5. All right. Again, it was key there to notice that we have hours here and we needed minutes for our answer. So in order for that to match up, we need to do a little conversion there. So in order to get our hours into minutes, we got to multiply by 60. All right, that's our last example for that lesson.